Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hold That Thought. My name's John Samuel, and I'm going to be your host. Episode 13 with Brett Wilkins. For those of you who are new to this podcast, Hold That Thought was designed to help up-and-coming musicians, agents, promoters, and other music industry folks further their learning in an ever-changing, fast-paced business. We believe that if you're not growing, you're dying. Episode 13. Some say it's an unlucky number. I'm just the opposite. This episode is unique, not because of the content, but the drive. I got to catch up with Brett Wilkins. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Brett, he is a 40-year-old working family man who never gave up on his dream. Most 40-year-old people stick to doing what they know. Brett decided to go opposite. His persistence, along with his extreme work ethic, has enabled him to pursue his longtime dream of playing music full-time. In this episode, we rapped about instant gratification, trying new things, occupational stereotypes, getting to know the staff at the venue, creating a set list, and having a confident mentor. There's a couple show notes. First off, on one of towards the end of the episode, I was discussing 3 things that every cover artist should do to have a successful career. That is actually meant for cover artists and original artists, and if implemented the right way, can help either one out. The other 2 show notes is that, as always, both of my animals did make an appearance in episode 13, and I'm pretty sure they will make an appearance in every single episode. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy episode 13 with Brett Wilkins. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 13 with Brett Wilkins of Hold That Thought. What's happening, Brett?
How are you? 13's an unlucky number.
No. We'll be fine with 13. We can call it something else.
No.
It won't bother me.
No, 13's cool.
So we can always improvise. That's the best part.
That's what I do.
So, how long you been playing music for, Brett?
I mean, is there an officially or I picked up my first guitar when I was 16 years old, so that was like 1994.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been playing for a while, but didn't feel like I've learned everything I play up to this point. I've learned that in the past 6 months.
Okay.
It's really weird to me, so yeah. I feel like I've gotten much better in the past 6 months than I had in 2 decades.
What was the drive over the last 6 months?
Just not afraid to give it a shot, realistically. You know, I was watching a lot of Grateful Dead and a lot of Fish at the time.
Awesome.
And, you know, I noticed that every show was different, but it wasn't just like these highs that they had, but they made a couple of mistakes. Nothing devastating. It was just like playing the wrong note. And I used to be like, if I played it wrong at all, like even the wrong note, then I'd destroy the whole song and everyone's going to know it. Because, of course, everyone knows how this song goes or how this album goes. Everyone's memorized it like I have. Turns out that's not the case. They don't notice when you screw up. You notice it. And that just now, it's as opposed to a panic, it's like, okay, well, let's not do that again. And you just keep on going, you know? It's actually fun because now you have to find a creative way just to get out of it before you just have to say, you know what, I'm sorry, stop. You know, it's okay, how can I get out of this hole and end this song on? It doesn't even have to be like a perfect high. It just has to be, okay, the song's over, everyone recognizes that was such and such
get
song.
over.
Yeah, don't bring it to a screeching halt. And even say something like, well, I screwed that up, which I do. And it's hilarious. You know, no one cares.
I like that you've been studying the Dead and You said fish, right? Correct?
Yeah.
I like that. And I think it's the jam band system's a good model to follow because they're very open-minded. They try new songs constantly. You look at some of those bands and you're like, okay, how did you create this many albums? And I think the really only way to create that much, whatever you're doing, whether you're an author, artist, poet, the only way to do it is by not being afraid to fail.
Right.
By saying, okay, I'm going to do this. If the song comes out the way we really like it, sometimes it will, sometimes it won't, but we can learn from this experience. And we'll just use that learning and move it on to our next project. And you go back through their discography, and it's insane. You know, the Dead and the Fish had so much music out there. And I think that's a very valuable learning experience, especially for someone like yourself who is ready to jump in a whole nother world.
Yeah. I mean, it's, I just started playing. Like I said, I've been playing music for a real long time. I've been in the same band that I played bass and sing in for 9 years. And we get together weekly and practice. We haven't done a lot of shows, and we're not doing it, for money. So I definitely cut my teeth in terms of, because I had stage fright. I could get up in front of a crowd, but when it came to music, I really, really, really got nervous. I mean, it was like I'd sweat profusely in the first song and all that. But I would, up until recently, I no longer got nervous. Maybe that hit me, I don't know, I'd say about February or March. I would say all of a sudden I was like, oh crap, I'm going to work, and I'd be so exhausted from, playing the night before or whatever. And then I realized, like, I'm 3 songs in and I'm just now realizing it. You had like this, oh yeah, I'm doing this right now. Something I always thought I was afraid of, and it becomes a thing where now you can just, if you know a song so well, you can just drift off and think about what you're going to have for dinner tonight, or, I wonder how much my tab's going to be this time. I can think about things like that, or what is that woman complaining about at her table? I mean, I kind of want to, I look at the room, and that's kind of the cool part.
So tell me how you were able to get over that initial fright. What pushed you through? Because I remember you telling me that your first gig was, I think, an hour set, and you got paid $20.
Yeah.
What, prior to going in and setting up, and when you're just nervous as can be, and you're sweating, and anxiety's getting ready to kick in, what made you? Because a lot of people buckle. A lot of people will walk away from a situation, not just in the music world, but in everything.
Well, I guess the thing, and to answer the second question first, I think I already did buckle. That's what happened. I think I could have been pursuing this at a much younger age. And maybe I didn't buckle because I wasn't driven enough, because all I could see in the future was failure, And this is not a blame game. I'm not pointing fingers, at people in my history, because I met plenty of them. The blame is on me because I allowed their negativity, their negative comments, you're not going to be able to do that. But what are you going to do for money? No, seriously, what are you going to do? Or, okay, that's a hobby, but what do you really want to do? I allowed that belief to enter my head, and that was the reality. And everyone else that was successful was better than me, better than all of us, because they were obviously destined to do that. That's why I can't do that, because I've been told I wasn't destined to do that. And it was, and I'm not trying to make this like a materialistic thing and being financial, but it is funny how like people say that's not a real job, yet someone they write a check out in your name. That's a job. Yeah.
What do you? All right, I have multiple questions.
Well, and I can answer the other question about like when did I get over it. This wasn't overnight, but this is what I call the genesis of it, of leading up to that confidence. I was playing a duo with my really good friend Jason Oakes, who's incredible, and yes, I am plugging him. He was a bartender at the Aging Still, and he usually plays with this another amazing musician by the name of John Gray, who was the bass player in this fantastic band called Resonated. Local, and they're amazing. He was going on tour, so Jason asked if I could come and play along with him. I was like, yeah, but heck, I feel the excitement as I'm even telling the story. And I said, well, yeah, can we practice? He went, practice? And I went, yeah, we got to figure out the set list. He's like, what is this S word you're talking about? Basically saying, like, no, you're shit out of luck. We don't practice, and we don't do set list. Just show up and bring what you know. So I'm like trying like, oh, I need to know this. I gotta mix it up. I need something slow because everyone says I play stuff that's too slow. I need something that's more up tempo. And so I'm picking like Sympathy for the Devil and all this kind of stuff, and learning this song called Ruby from my friend Shelby, and freaking out and trying to learn a Dr. Dog song and listening to the set list before I put on Spotify, and I go in there, and then Jason's like, okay, I'm gonna play this. I was like, Jason, I don't know how to play that. He went, that's okay. No, I went, okay, well, what if you don't know what? He's like, then I don't have to play it if I don't know. But but if you feel like you want to join in. And if you don't. But don't worry about it. And that look of confidence and relaxation that he gave me, and all of a sudden it was gone. It felt great. Just, I remember that one night, and it came back. But that night told me to don't be afraid to try something. Don't be afraid to play the wrong note. Don't be afraid to sing something. Yes, you probably will suck at it, but don't be afraid of it.
Don't be afraid.
Because it could go the other way around, And it's like, just don't be afraid to try new things. And I look at old videos of Bob Weir, and sometimes Bob tried to belt out a line that he just couldn't do it. From what I think he was trying to achieve. But man, when you hear him and the whole crowd gets excited, it's good for Bob Weir because he's giving it all he's got. And he's not afraid to do that. So that's where I was coming from.
That's cool. That's really cool. To have someone there with that much confidence.
Yeah.
That's amazing because you have to surround yourself around people like that.
Absolutely.
No matter what you're trying to accomplish, you have to be around people that are confident and that believe in you.
Yeah.
Because that's going to make it a lot easier. One of the things I really want to ask you is what we were just talking about. Do you think society will ever get over occupational stereotypes? Like the musician aspect. He's just a musician.
Yeah.
He's not really a worker.
Yeah.
Wait, we just cut the guy a check.
Yeah.
Like you were just saying, well, you paid me. I got a check from you.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's ever going to go away, and I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. It's, I can't think of anything right now, but I can tell you before I started doing this, I probably could think of many things. But there might be a job that you and I are like, someone gets paid to do that? That's not a job, It's like, and you say, boy, I wish I got paid to do that, But it's not easy. I can tell you that. It's like, this isn't me. Like, I'm not some, forgive the word, sensation. This didn't happen overnight. I like to joke around to people. It's like, yeah, this was a lot of lonely nights in high school, trying to learn this, locking yourself in a room and being more concerned with learning how to play Darkside of the Moon versus going out there and being social. You
got to put in the hours.
Yeah. And I gave up many times, and I don't think I ever, to say I gave it up, I played almost every day, then I played almost every other day, and then it was like maybe a couple times a week. But I can definitely say I've always just picked up a guitar and just, even for 5 minutes, I've always had it. I don't pick up a guitar every day right now, but to pick it up enough that it's like I get 4 hours of practice almost a night, just 3 or 4 nights a week. So it's an even trade-off. Totally figured out where I was going with that because now I'm so talking about.
It's all good.
Yeah, where I was going with that.
All good. No worries. What's the biggest obstacle you face playing music full time? The stability?
No, I mean right now the stability's been good. It's I gotta hustle for it, and it's got to make sure I'm always reaching out to the people. I know I bug you a couple of times with, hey, have you guys got anything? Have you guys got anything?
Consistency.
Yeah, it's just, but I mean I'm out there promoting myself. Right now I have not hit a lull. I'll just put it to you that way. I've actually, seen it grow every month. And that's not just a lot of that has to, I got to give credit to my wife who, is willing to take on our responsibilities with our daughter so I can do that. So there are times between, working a 40-hour week job, in Tampa and then doing this 3 or 4 nights a week. I've gone on for 3 nights not seeing my daughter.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm a touring musician.
Yeah.
But
schedules.
I'm a working family man.
Yeah. Schedules conflict and
kind of going back to this being a job. This was my whole take on it when I talked to Ashley. She wanted to be at home with our daughter Vera, and I'm perfectly okay with that because I want a child. If Ashley could afford to work and have me stay at home, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Because I think it's just good for a child to be raised at least by one parent and create
who's there
bond
with them all the time.
Yeah, and helping them learn and all that. So I'm totally going on my belief on that. So I said, look, let's quit your job so you can do this. And before I have to actually go look, because I'm ready to do a second job, can I please give this this music thing a shot? And this was a time when I would play like the occasional gig, and maybe I'd come home with $50 in my pocket, and good night with friends, whatever.
Yeah.
And that had so much value to me. It really did. That was a good paying job right there. So I was driven to make it work as much as possible and work as hard as possible. Yeah, it's a lot of. I can't call it hard work because to me it's not hard. It's just a lot of work, but I love doing it.
Well, it's the behind the scenes work.
Yeah.
You got to send the emails. You got to reach out. You got to make the phone calls.
Invite yourself on podcasts.
You do what you can to get your name out there, and you get your music out there, and you got to network.
Absolutely.
You got to play open mics. You got to. You can't get stuck.
I actually get the one thing that's very gratifying to me, and I don't mean this in a demeaning way, just to remind me of what it used to be. Because I remember when I first got my business cards printed out in August of last year. So I think the 26th, I've been doing this officially for 1 year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so keep that in mind. Started marketing in August. Got 1 gig out of it for November. And then nothing. It was nothing. I just had that 1 gig on the book. So talking about the anxiety coming back, you bet it did, because this is my gamble.
Did it make you hungrier?
Oh, God,
during that period.
Well,
is that when you started really hustling?
What made me really, really hungry? It was an incredible high. My really good friend Jeff, who plays in another band called Subterfusion, who has a CD coming out, and they're amazing, and I can go into that in another podcast if you like. But his band was playing this birthday party, and they were doing this for free. Like, we're trying out some of our new material. We'd like someone to open up for us. Do you mind just doing the acoustic thing? I know you're trying to get, a gig, so bring business cards. It won't pay, but it's free food. To have a couple of beers, it'd be good to see you, blah, blah, blah. Absolutely. So drove up there, did my hour set, and the girl hosting the party walks up to me and gives me a check for $100. And I was told I wasn't getting paid, and I was fine with that. But when that happened, I was like, holy, I just worked an hour. 1 hour. And it didn't feel like an hour to me. It felt like 15 minutes. I was enjoying myself, and then I got it, just like that. I didn't have to wake up early. I didn't have to sit in traffic for an hour. I didn't have to clock in. I didn't have to clock out. I didn't have to turn in a report. I didn't have to sit in a meeting to almost make that.
Some meetings. Oh.
Yeah. I didn't. And it was rewarding. And then next thing I know, another friend of mine hires me to play his New Year's Eve brunch. And I'm like, and then I got an audition at the Postcard Inn, and then it was.
So that's where everything just started spawning.
And then it was like, it's like I want 1 gig a week, and it was like this week, then all of a sudden like it doubled in February, and then the Postcard Inn picked up to a weekly thing. So now it's like I just accelerated the pace of my goal by this, and then it went from 2 nights a week to 3 nights a week to 4. Then it went into doubles, a whole weekend. I mean, and it was like, how the hell did this happen? So I do laugh when I go to a place. So like, well, we have an open mic night. I'm like, what night's your open mic? I don't have a gig that night. Well, I have a gig that night. It's like, I can't do your open mic night, but if that's how you audition for people, maybe I have enough of an opportunity for you to come see me yourself. I can't sacrifice a job for an open mic.
Oh, absolutely not. But one of our artists in Philadelphia, Jimmy Salvatore, he is embarking on a new journey. He's played a ton of cover music, and he's really starting this original project and getting going with it. Very excited about it, and it's so cool to see the energy. And he's wicked smart when it comes to the business. So he's still doing his cover gigs, working on the original project. But one thing he told me, he said, John, I'm out hitting any night I have off. I'm out hitting open mics. He's like the networking and the people you meet and the work I get from hitting open mics is phenomenal. And he's like, I try to do it as much as I can. A lot of artists either don't do open mics anymore, especially cover artists, because cover artists hit a point where they're playing 4 or 5 days a week. And I understand. I completely get it. You're playing 4 or 5 days a week. The last thing you want to do on your day off is go to the bar and do an open mic.
Right.
I understand it. But I think you should at least do it once a month. Just to get out, meet some new people, meet some new artists, and for the creative aspect of it as well. When you're seeing new artists, you're learning from new artists. The networking, that's great. And you never know who's going to be in the crowd. Yeah. You never know who's going to hire you.
Oh, that's a good point.
And another
That's
thing,
a really good point. I tip my hat, man.
Nice.
I was wrong in that. Yeah. I didn't see. I never looked at it that way.
Yeah, and I get it. Set a goal for yourself where you're working, you got your family, you're doing that. You're going nonstop. Once a month, I'll go ahead and a Tuesday night open mic.
Actually, this week would have been a perfect time to do that because it's usually I have something going on during the week, but this is just kind of a break and
And by all means, let me know because I will join you.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, I mean, I can if I'm out 3 nights a week, my wife would understand that. Hey, let me go here and see if I can. And for promotional purposes, absolutely.
Break it down. You never know who's sitting in that crowd.
You're right.
You really don't. And lots of work can spawn from it. I know a lot of cover artists don't like playing the exposure gigs anymore.
It's scary. I will say that.
It
is so scary when it's called an audition. It's.
I'm talking like exposure gigs on the weekend where you got an art festival, a Saturday morning market, and they pay $25 or $30. They're not paying much, but you might have a chance to sell some merch, some CDs. You might have a chance to network with some new people and meet some new people. I see it as a business opportunity. Yes, you may not be getting paid, but use the mentality of, okay, once every Saturday, I'll go try to play a different farmer's market. Yeah. And this is my marketing money. I'm not getting paid for this gig. Yeah. It's an exposure, but this is how I'm going to market myself. Because as a company, that's one thing I really wanted to get into, is that musicians don't see what they're doing as a business. Yeah. They strictly see the artistic side. The top level bands, whether cover or original, that are doing really, really well, do it because are doing well
Yeah.
because they have great business sense and they treat the band like a business. And you have to, because if you don't market your band, a lot of people misunderstand marketing. You're in the field.
Yeah.
You know, marketing's not posting, hey guys, come see me. I'm playing 9 to 11.
That's what I do. You bring my Facebook.
Down
Thank
at
you.
the beach. I'm going to rock it. That's not marketing.
That's what I do.
Oh, everyone does it. I'm calling you all out. Everyone does it. And
Oh, you read my text verbatim. Isn't that a trending joke on Facebook right now? My wife pulled it on me today.
that's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like something I said.
I
I don't know if I said rock out. Maybe rock cocks out. I don't know. Sorry.
That's great. What that's like if 9 to 5 people just started posting.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
I'm going to the shop. I'll be there from 9 to 5 today.
Yeah, dude, I knew... yeah.
I'm at Publix 6 to 3 if you want to stop by and see me.
I mean, actually, don't people do that anyway?
I guess.
You know what? I will say this. I got to pay a compliment to a venue I play in Largo called the Sport Shack, and it is... I mean, I love all the places I play because I've become friends with these people, and that is something I want to get into. Getting to know the staff. That's what I really want to talk about tonight.
Awesome.
But yeah, I mean, and this is a good segue into it. But Nicole is the manager of that place. You know, she hired me on the spot just because of my. You know, I approached her and I said, "Hey, my name's Brett," and I had like this shitty CD. But it was like that's another thing I had to. Fling to people because you need to have something, right?
No, you have to have something tangible.
Shitty demos that I record at home and all this kind of stuff, but you have something. And she just opened up her calendar and just said, well, what's your March look like and do you have a following? And I probably like frozen the headlights, but my friend Brent was with me and he was like, no, yeah, he's got a lot of fans on Facebook and, and it was really just, if I would have frozen if it wasn't for him, And the dude went on her Facebook. She actually says like, "I'm working wings night. I'm working whiskey." And when I see her post that, that's when I really want to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, God, yeah, Nicole's working. Yeah, I want to go to Sports Shack and hang out with her and have wings.
She's obviously excited to have you.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of funny. Like you can market yourself that way because look it. Worked on
No,
me.
you can. What it really meant is that utilize other ways to market your band. So treat your band like a business and utilize other ways to get your band's name out there and market.
Yeah.
And whether that be in the form of open mic, the form of playing a free farmers market. And I'm not talking about doing these all the time because I understand your time is worth money.
Yeah.
But set aside one day a month where you go play an art festival for free and use that as your marketing.
So now I have to do more market research then because I don't know anything about like...
I can help you out with that.
Yes,
yeah,
okay.
we can.
We'll talk.
Yeah,
we'll talk. Yeah.
No, I can help you, but utilize marketing, and and treat your band like a business, and that means in every aspect of it.
Right.
Look at your sales or your merchandise. Your marketing is getting out and getting your exposure and creating content or creating music and getting that music in the hands of fans. Also, your branding, your logo, which you're doing a great job with. But do you have merch? Are you selling merchandise at the moment?
Yeah, my best friend Brent Sutton created that logo.
Awesome.
That was the coolest thing. I wrote him a message on Facebook or whatever. It was like, hey dude, I'm thinking about a logo of my last name where the neck of the K is a guitar. Can you help me out with that? Give me a half hour.
Nice.
You like this one? Yeah, that's good. Or how about this one? or how about this one where it's a mixture between the two. I mean, he like created 3 different logos and for his business cards. Like, we had him in 3 days. So that was him. He gives it that look. I just said, make the K a guitar. Yeah, how original.
Yeah.
He did it. Like,
Came out great.
I love it.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So what we're going to break into the segue.
The staff.
The staff.
Yes.
So I'll give you one example of things I used to do. And I created, for anyone who has not listened to this podcast before, I created this podcast because I really, really want the community and the arts community, the music community to start moving forward and growing. So I think it's very important that we discuss every aspect of the business so that we can see different points of view and we can learn from it. Mm-hmm. One of the things I did when I was at the Green Iguana and everyone's sitting on the patio out there smoking, this was years and years ago, and it's Sunday night, I'm inside and the band shows up and no one's inside. Everyone's out on the patio. It's a beautiful Florida night, and I'm sitting behind the bar.
Oh, man.
And I have no bar gas, and I'm going, okay, what do I do? I just started clapping really loud after every song. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly a couple people poked their head in the door, and then a couple more people come in, and then I started engaging with the band between every set. Hey, do you know this song? Do you know that song? Could you play that song for me? What's your favorite band? Once people saw that and they noticed me engaging with the musicians, then they started opening up. And they were not afraid to engage with the band and get up and dance and tip them. And it was contagious. It was a good time. We had so many bands come through there. We're doing music twice a day, 7 days a week. We had a lot of musicians come through there. But you have to be able to talk to musicians. You got to know how to speak with them, and you can't just point to the stage in the corner and go, set up over there.
Yeah.
You have to take it to the next level.
Yep.
We spoke about this earlier with Maria in Claremont. She does an excellent job.
Fantastic
job of really making people feel welcome when they come in. So, talk to me about it from a musician's perspective.
I can talk about it from my perspective. I don't know about a musician's, but
get out of here.
Well, no, because I can't speak for everybody. I believe in treating people with respect, and I also believe that if you do that, you should receive the same. Simple as that. And not everybody believes that, or they may think they do, but I really make an effort, especially doing this. Be respectful, be nice, and that's all you got to be, And I felt like every place I've gone, I've gotten just to know. They become family to me. A lot of these places that I play, and it's like I was talking to Megan at the Postcard Inn, and I realized, like, Megan, I've seen you like almost every week for 6 months. It was like that was like really cool, and just to be like on a first name basis with these people, and then they treat you a little different. Jen and Sarah at the Bine Brewing Company. Yeah, you came over there.
Oh yeah.
I was hanging out with them, and we were just having like a great time, just talking. And next thing I know, I'm helping them, stack up the stools, and I'm taking out the garbage. They're just like, it's like, yeah, like. And I told Jen, and we all agreed. Was like, we're partners. We work together. We are a team. And because one thing I learned this at Mad Beach Brewing Company, the chef Tyson, who's amazing, and his hostess, they greeted me at the door. And I remember I gave Chef Tyson my business card months ago, and I finally got the gig. And he said, I gotta lay down some rules. Don't play too loud. And I said, well, you just let me know. I was like, I'll let you know, but just don't play too loud. He went, you can't play any Sublime, and you can't play any reggae. And that's
were they tainted by reggae?
That's when
they're on the
heard,
beach. How?
Well, I think what it was is that they just came across and I learned that and this is not every musician. Like, we all know the good ones out there. We do. We know who is like legitimately good. I know tons of them. I don't know any bad ones. I really don't, because I wouldn't be associated with them if I did. But people that don't care, people that think it's about them and not about where you're playing. It's not about the people. It's not about the staff, People that play the exact same set and the staff can actually know what their shift is and tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. So two things. When I was bar manager at the Green Iguana, my blacklist was 4 Non-Blondes and Hotel California by the Eagles. Every time musicians walked in, that was probably the first thing I said. Do not play 4 Non-Blondes. I actually posted a sign on the back of the wall and said, I forgot exactly what it said, but it said, "I'll cut your fucking set short if you play 4 Non-Blondes."
And I guarantee you that had I played for you, you and I would have already established that. And we would have had a friendship by the 3rd time. And so when I would get requests, I was like, seriously, I cannot play it. Like, the manager and we agreed on this. He will not let me play it. But we would laugh about it every time because
absolutely.
Because I don't want to play it.
Something, believe it or not, something simple like that builds a relationship.
Yeah, it's cool.
It does, because now you have something to joke around with.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this guy over here at A1 is requesting the Hotel California again. I got to keep telling him no.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, like, the staff they're listening to you more than you think they are, man. They really are listening because they're at work. Remember that whole you can just kind of daydream because you're so good at what you do. Don't you think they get lost somewhere else? They're not tied up in conversation with their cousin that they haven't seen in years, which we just experienced. I know everywhere we went, we were catching up on family things. We heard the music, we appreciated it, but we weren't all sitting there watching it. We were catching up with it. But the staff, man, they hear you. They hear you every single time. And every
time you're playing.
Damn it, he's playing this song again. Or it's like, oh yeah, I love when he does this.
On the weekends, when I was at a certain venue, we used to have reoccurring bands come in. And as soon as the bands would step in, like, okay, such and such scheduled tonight, we'd look at each other and go, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper. Let's see who gets their set list right. And all 3 bartenders would jot down what they remembered all 3 sets and see who came the closest. Because every time that band played, they played the exact same 3 sets, song for song. And it was old, and it was stagnant, and the crowd liked them to an extent, but it was to an extent. Mm-hmm. And the staff liked them personally, but musically it was the same exact show every single time they came in. And I think in order to be a very strong and successful cover band, you gotta switch your set list up.
Absolutely.
You cannot play the same set. You have to, even if you don't have time to learn new songs, switch them around. Switch the current set list around, jumble it up, and don't play the same set list every time you go into a venue.
If you're out there touring, not even touring, if you're out there playing your 100% original music, you can play the same set every night because that is your music, and maybe you only have so many songs, and maybe you wrote it in that order. You can play that from beginning to end.
Original.
Original.
Yeah, a whole different ballgame.
But
you could definitely do that.
There's I know a lot of. I think I know a good number of songs, and I'm lying when I say I know them. I have access to a good number of songs that I have the ability to play because I use my iPad and everything. But there's so many more songs that I don't know. I can play 70 songs with confidence. That means there's in the real grand scheme of things, there could be 7 million that I don't know how to play. So it really is big. Yeah, I can fit into a genre somewhere and stay in there, which I've done. But if I'm just out there, then I can't be disappointed or I can't be upset with myself because I don't know a song that you don't know. That being said, I should take that feedback and look into that song and see if it's something I like, see if it's something I would like to play, and then learn it. And I tried doing that. So yeah, I think it's inexcusable for anyone to just give up like that because dude, if you're tired of it, and they are,
then the staff's going to be tired of it.
Eventually, other people will be tired of it.
And the patrons are going to be tired of it.
Yeah, the moment you get bored doing it, that's probably when everyone sees it. They see you just don't care anymore because you don't. You're bored with it.
Yeah, and when and then that boredom transcends down into everything. Maybe transpires into everything. Yeah. Your attitude, your demeanor, everything. It shines out, and people can see right away. Yeah, this guy doesn't even look like he wants to be here. Why would I want to be here? He doesn't want to play. He doesn't want to be here. He looks miserable. Yeah. Why am I, someone who's hanging out, listening to music, want to be here?
Because, whoa, holy shit, there's a cat.
That's Wiley.
Yeah, no, I really just like a person was coming around the table, and I was like, oh, okay. Hi.
We're sitting here in my makeshift studio. So.
Hello, cat.
So here's something I wanted to. Someone asked me this question the other day, and I think you'll find it beneficial. He asked me, what were the 3 things that you think make and break a good cover musician? What will help make me a good cover musician? And I found it fitting that he asked me because this podcast is essentially on you being able to eventually get out of the 9 to 5 when you're ready and play music full time. And the 3 things that I came up with were work ethic. You have to be willing to sacrifice something to make your dreams become reality. Correct. You have to find whatever it is that you need to sacrifice. You have to be able to find that, get over it, and do it. And whatever, whether it's another hobby or an issue with time, whatever it may be, you got to figure out what you can sacrifice, and you got to work your ass off. The other thing was the willingness to grow as an individual. And something we just elaborated on it. If you're bored doing it and you're not growing with it and you're not challenging yourself with it, why are you doing it anymore? Yeah. Get over it. And because this business is extremely cutthroat. And especially in the market that we are in, Dunedin, Tampa, Orlando, St. Pete, this area, we are in the tourist state. So every mom and pop, every beach restaurant, there is so much music out there. You could go any night of the week, and you go to the beach any night of the week, Brown Boxer, Shepherd's, wherever it may be, right. And you could catch live music. There's not a whole lot of original venues, but when it comes to cover music, there are venues everywhere. Yeah. We don't even book for that many venues in this area. We probably don't even have a percentage of the amount of work that's in this area, which is phenomenal. We should be capitalizing on that. But you have to have that willingness to grow, and you have to be able to study the music business, but also be able to take a step outside of your box and look at other industries and study other industries. When you can look at the book business, when you can look at the movie business, and you can look at different areas, you start being able to make connections.
Yeah.
And you'll start seeing stuff that a book author did. Like, for example, my neighbor down the street is a art teacher. She wants to teach my daughter. And we just met her a couple weeks ago. And she's also has her getting ready to put her art on display. When I came home tonight, there was a handmade flyer on my dorm. Like, I'm thinking it was another lawn service or whatnot. And I opened the flyer, and it's her inviting the whole neighborhood to her art display across the street at the art museum.
That's great.
How many people do that? How many? And that's something old school. No one goes door to door. No one's gonna. Hey, I'm doing a CD release party. You're my neighbor. I would love to have you there. Come check me out. People don't do that. They post on Facebook. They post on Twitter, Instagram, wherever. Are you getting out? Are you knocking door to door?
Absolutely. Oh yeah. I mean, I was.
Well, I know you are.
Oh,
I'm just saying in general.
Oh
But,
no. Okay. Yeah. Going back to that. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. 100%.
So, but I'm looking at this flyer going, that's awesome. Took time to make the flyer, invite everyone. She's got her art on display at the Dunedin Museum of Art. That's great. That's something outside. But when you can start looking at other industries, you go, wow, man, I might be able to use that idea with my music business.
That's what I did. That's exactly what I did. As weird as that is,
yeah,
I was like, I actually have learned something from being in the corporate world this long. Oh my God, I'm practicing, and it's working. And that was
that comes from being observant.
It was a bittersweet victory.
Yeah. Oh. And I'm still bartending, and I don't enjoy bartending anymore. I've been doing it for 20 years. My wife's like, "No, you're not going to stop bartending. You can't stop bartending. You love doing it." I'm like, it's a battle. It's a love-hate relationship. I don't like working at 4 a.m. I'd rather wake up at 4 a.m. and get ready for the day and see my girls off to school. But
where would you be without it?
I know I've been doing it for so long. Wow. But each time that I go to work, and I may not want to be there, I tell myself, what can I learn? What can I learn tonight? Who can I learn from? What can I learn? What can I take from tonight's experience and implement or use it within my business? What can I learn? So that the willingness to grow. And last thing, that was the 3. We had talked about the other one. So to recap, the 3 things to make your cover career better is your work ethic. You got to be willing to sacrifice something and put in the hard work. Willingness to grow as an individual, and treating your profession like it's your business.
And this is yours, that you answered this guy's question, and that was your advice?
Yeah, that was my advice.
That is, I want to elaborate on it because I just feel like I have to talk. And I shouldn't be. But no, I agree with everything that you said. And
I hope that changes. I hope that switches. Well, I hope I learn something tomorrow that I can add into that and make it better. Yeah,
and that just goes for anything. And maybe the language makes sense to me. It just does. It might not make sense to other people, but if it doesn't make sense to them, then they're just not there yet. I wasn't there. I could say I wasn't there a year ago. Well, actually, no, I can't say that. A year and a half ago, I wasn't there because I just didn't get it. So that advice would have been nothing to me because I was foggy. You know what I mean? But now that you really have to practice, you have to be willing to do the work. I had no idea it was going to be this much work. I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to do more of it. I really do.
I love it.
Yeah, and I didn't know it was going to make me feel like a better person and humble me and calm me down and make me rational. And, I used to think that people would heckle me because I was very insecure. And I would kind of be defensive. I'd be a jerk, you know. I wouldn't say like anything nasty to him, but I'd probably give him a look or be sarcastic, whatever.
It doesn't even faze you anymore, does it?
Dude, I become friends with those people. Now I kind of, you know, I was like, okay, if you're heckling me, I can heckle back pretty good, but not be offensive by it. Perfect example, if you don't mind me telling this story.
No, please have at it.
But I hate the Freebird guy. You know the Freebird guy.
Oh yeah.
He's the guy that yells Freebird but doesn't want to hear Freebird. So he thinks he's funny. Everyone says it. And I used to hate it. Because I thought it was disrespectful. You know, and I do want to tell people, it's like, that
it is very disrespectful.
One of the most disrespectful things you can do to a musician, because they really are working. You're just yelling. You think you're being funny. You're doing it to make yourself look better. Like, that really is what you're doing. A lot of people do it. People I love do it. You know. But if you're listening, just don't yell Freebird. To people you don't know, you can yell it to me. So I decided to fucking learn Freebird. Sorry, I cussed.
No, you're all good.
So this guy yelled Freebird, and I went, okay, hold on, everyone. This young man right here wants to hear Freebird. And guess what? I'm going to play it. And I said, what's your name? He's like, well, my name's Buddy. I was like, well, Buddy, I'm going to play Freebird. But I don't know how it's going to go, because I really don't know the song very well. I really never played it before, so if it's not good, this is your fault. And, you know, and he
that's great. Because you wanted to hear it.
Yeah. And then I said, but I don't want to look bad either. So I am going to give it my best shot. And so I took it seriously. Because once I played, I didn't care once I was playing it. It was fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, hey, this is, and now I don't have to worry about the next song. And I'm getting through Freebird. You know, I was happy with it. I'd do it again, and I have. But
what was the guy's reaction?
It was fine. It was fine.
Did he really want Freebird, or was he being
of course he didn't want
the complete
Freebird.
Douchebag yelling it out?
Yes, that's what he wanted to be. Yeah. And then I just let him know, I was like, I did hear you yell Freebird, and now we're going to have a conversation about you wanting to talk about Freebird, because this is what you wanted. That's why you yelled it. You wanted someone to get it. You thought you were funny. And if you're doing it to crack yourself up, then just think it, and then and you can laugh inside your own head too. I do it all the time. So all the time, I'd be talking a lot less.
Learn from me.
I'm getting long-winded with so many of my stories, but
you're okay.
Thank you, I appreciate it. But it's the point being was it was fine, it was good. So I was like, I don't have to get upset with these people. And next thing you know, man, they'll be like, I'm just kidding with you, you know? And I was like, I'm just kidding with you too. And then you're talking to them during your breaks, and you're having drinks with them, and then they stay for your whole set. And next thing, that person that I thought was heckling you was actually just being a fun person. Dude, they're the ones that say, play what you want to play, man. You're good. That's the thing. Like, don't be afraid to engage with anyone. You know, it's like, dude, if someone's a jerk, the restaurant doesn't want them there.
No,
it's not your job. You're not the bouncer as a musician. I had to learn that. Like, I don't have to keep everyone in like, all right, everyone has to behave tonight. No, it's kind of not that I could do anything, but I don't have to be security. I don't have to deal with complaining customers. I don't have to deal with someone running out on their check. I just get to be here and playing music. I'm in the background, and I am fine with that. You know, I am fine with that.
And, you know, unfortunately, you will never get rid of the Freebird thing.
No.
He'll always be around, whether it's the song Freebird or a new song that may take Freebird's place, but you will always have that Freebird guy who thinks he's witty, who thinks he's funny. He's probably had too many fucking cheap beers, and he's yelling and Freebird, and you found a way to get over that hurdle.
Yeah, and you can always find new ways to embarrass the guy without being mean, without being a jerk about it. It's like, that's my whole point. But I'm going to give it my best shot, and it was like, we're in this together. Yeah. So it's like, I'm not going to purposely. I'm not here to really make you look that bad. No one's really even taking me serious right now. But it was a good banter. I didn't feel like I was being rude, but I felt like, here's the thing, dude. Yeah. You know, but make it fun. You know, and guess what? People were paying attention. Even for that that little second, people were paying attention, and that was fun.
And that's the thing. No matter what profession, no matter what job you're in, you're gonna have a hurdle like that. And it sucks when you're on stage, and you're there to entertain and people are engaging in the wrong way. I mean, because that's just being a douche. Mm-hmm. Anyone who yells it. But the important part is that you know it's part of the business, part of the job. And you got to find a somewhat constructive way of getting over it and getting through it. Yeah. And just moving on.
I still will tell the story. I mean, I don't, even though it doesn't bother me over the hurdle, now they're just funny stories. And yes, it will irk me for a quick jolt of a second where I'm like, oh. Yeah. And then you're like, yeah, just deal with it. Like people that come up and talk to you when you're literally in the middle of singing a song. Not like in between, just like literally as you're speaking into the microphone, people will come up and make a request. And then you just realize they're in a different place.
Oh, whole different.
I don't know if they're super drunk. I don't know if they're just oblivious because I don't know. I have no idea what type of day that they had. Maybe they just don't know any better, and they're not killing me by doing it. It is what it is. Well, usually it's alcohol.
Oh, absolutely. From a bartender's perspective, everything now is drastically changed. When I first started bartending, it was a whole entirely different world. Mm-hmm. People actually back then came to the bar to socialize and to be entertained. Yeah. Now people are not going to the bar to socialize, and they're not going to the bar to be entertained. They're going to the bar to get fucked up, or, I mean, some of them are going for the social aspect.
And to be served, damn it.
And to surf the smartphone. Mm-hmm. The other day, I'm at a table, high top, come out from the bar, grabbing their food order, writing their food order down, got my pen and pad out. And someone's standing behind me, shaking their beer bottle at me. And I came to this conclusion. Yeah.
Bartenders have it much worse than a musician ever does.
And
Pay attention, musicians. The bartender has it worse.
Yeah.
If they can do it, you can.
I looked at her and I let her know, like, now's not the time to be ordering your beer. I'm in the middle of taking a food order. She understood that. She got it. And what I think has happened over the last couple of years is that people think everything is a click away. Everyone's so used to instant gratification. You click on a website and you get the price instantly. Or you click on a picture and the picture enlarges. Or you need to get your daughter gym shoes or dance shoes or whatever it may be, and you get on Amazon and I ordered the shoes, taken care of, 2 minutes, they'll be here in 2 days. Everything's instant gratification that oftentimes people go out and they don't realize that stuff still has to be made. And they don't realize that there's multiple people there as well. Mm-hmm. And people forget about that. And these are probably the same people who are shaking the beer bottles that are yelling Freebird. And I don't think that will ever change. I think you have to change your look on it. If you want to be successful in either one of the industries, in the bar industry, in the music industry, you got to change your outlook on that. Mm-hmm. You got to realize, okay, I got to quit fighting this. There's no matter what venue I go play, if I'm playing a cover show, no matter where I'm at, mm-hmm. there's going to be that douchebag. Mm-hmm. There's going to be that guy. There's going to be that girl tripping over your equipment. You got to figure out a constructive way just to get over it, move along with it, and don't lose a beat. And I know I'm an outsider looking in. I'm an agent. I'm not a musician, but I'm also in the hospitality industry, and I'm bombarded with the same shit you guys are bombarded with. And for years, I remember, this is a great story. For years and years, I would just complain and moan. And one day I come in to work, and one of my really good friends looked at me and he goes, "Dude, you've been here 5 minutes and you've complained like 10 times. I'm like, really? Oh, shit. And then it really clicked. It really hit home and really clicked going, man, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Why am I going to make this any more miserable than it already is? So it boils down to that mentality, that attitude. And, I don't want to be, Mr. Positive all the time, because it's impossible to be like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I try my hardest, but it is really hard to always be upbeat. Always,
it should be.
It's
what makes being positive so much better, because you can still find a way to get over it. You can't have a positive without a negative.
Yeah.
Anyone that's 100% positive is like, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, but you're full of shit. You're not positive.
But you got to figure out a way to overcome it and realize it's the nature of the beast. And then if you don't like it, I see posts all the time on Facebook, all the time, and it's probably because all of my Facebook friends are all musicians. So I see it, I hear it, I talk to them about it, I live it. It's been a lot of time working hands on hands. So I see it. I'm like, I know, I'm going through the same shit. Trust me, I don't want to drive to work Friday night, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
but it is what it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, it drives me. Holy shit, that 20 minutes went by fast.
Yeah. Yes, it did. So we're going to do, I'll have you back on the show because you and I have a lot to talk about.
I do want to say one thing because and it took me forever to not cut you off because I was so excited, but going back to the staff, and you say, I don't know if talking to me or the whole audience, but if you haven't listened to previous podcasts, as a matter of fact, I did listen to that podcast, and I was so ready to cut you off and say I know exactly what you're going to tell, and I 100% agree. And I have to give this podcast a lot of credit because that was one of 3 occasions where I actually was like, wow, these guys, I'm in the exact mindset as like I would have a thought, and then your guest would say it. Oh God, it was Stick Martin when you had him on.
Yeah, Stick's awesome.
He one thing he talked about was, and I've seen Stick. You know, I mean, it was a couple years ago. But he's a maniac. He's amazing.
Oh, he's amazing. He's a phenomenal artist.
He was playing songs. I was like, oh, really? The fucking Joker, you know? But the way he was doing it, looping the synth and everything, and he had a drummer with him, and he had these women dancing constantly, just was constantly go, and he was phenomenal. But to hear that podcast, he talks about like, yeah, you know, the thing that sucks about learning a new song, I don't know if he did that, was like by the time you learn it, it's already been out for a year.
Yeah.
And that's like that's a struggle. And it was so cool to hear like a guy like that, you know, in my opinion, who's like just this amazing musician. He's probably on top of everything. He actually has his own little struggle. And he's amazing, you know.
When I was doing that podcast, I was looking at his discography, which I have on my computer, and I'm going through his discography, and I'm looking at all these songs, and I think I have 12 of his CDs on this computer.
This is great.
And they all have 12, 14 songs, whatever it may be. And then I start looking at the new material that I haven't picked up yet. And I'm like, Stick, you got about 120, 130 songs? Yeah, somewhere around there.
That's right.
How many songs do you know? God knows how many cover songs he knows, but he's brilliant.
Yeah.
He literally is brilliant. He knows a ton of music, and he's a huge asset to the music community because he helps out a lot of musicians with recording.
I haven't had a chance to meet him. I've just seen him.
He's great. He's great. All right, so one last thing, and I started trying to implement this in all my podcasts. What album would you gift to someone? And a lot of people say, well, it really depends on the person.
No, not
but
for me.
your favorite album, what would you gift to someone?
It's not my favorite album, but I mean, yeah. Anyway, but if I knew that every single person that I've ever encountered my entire life, if I knew for a fact they did not own this album, Darkside of the Moon by Pink Floyd. I think it's the perfect album. It's got everything.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent. Sweet. Well, I really appreciate you coming in here and hanging out and giving me a chance to pick your brain and see, I know you're just jumping in this world, but you still have a lot more experience than you think you do.
I appreciate that.
And it's been a great learning experience. And no matter, and that's one thing I always want to keep in my mind with this podcast and with my blog and everything else I do. It doesn't matter if someone's been in the industry 20 years. A lot of musicians will take a look and go, okay, the guy's only been playing 7 months, 8 months, whatever, a year, 2 years. I'll go hang out with this guy who's been playing 20 years. But keep in mind, people, there's experiences to learn and knowledge to learn from everyone. And even though someone may only been playing full time for a couple of years, it could be, you can always learn something. Mm-hmm. I learned how to freaking draw through my 3-year-old. So, and that's a whole nother topic, but so I do appreciate your knowledge and I appreciate you hanging out, and I definitely want to have you back on.
Thanks. And if I could, if I can kind of do a closing comment on that, thank you. I just actually around this time last year, as I was starting this, all of a sudden these inspirational things were having an effect on me. I knew they were always there. I was just finally recognizing them. And, one of them was that it was a quote, and the gist of it was, "You're never too old to get into music." You're like, there's not an age cutoff to actually play music and to make it big, if you will, and whatever that is, to be successful at it. But it's not an age at all. You don't have to be 15 and after 20 you're like, you're done. It's not football, Yeah. It's like, it's not that. We're lucky. And then the other one was this meme of a band in front of this huge crowd, and it said, "You'll never play one of these." And then below it was a band playing like to a room of nobodies paying attention until you played 100 of these. And then it was like, okay, cut your teeth, get out there and do that. And I actually got to tell this one girl, and she was like, "I'd love to do what you do, whatever." I was like, "Well, you should." She's like, "Well, I'm afraid, and I kind of suck." And I said, "You know what? The only way to get better at something is to suck at it in the first place."
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not about being the best, it's about getting better.
Have you ever heard this quote? In order to create a masterpiece, you have to be willing to create a little junk along the way.
Yeah.
That's a great quote.
Yeah.
I apologize. I'll look it up. I'm not sure who said that quote, but I love that quote. Mm-hmm. In order to create a masterpiece, you have to be willing to create a little junk along the way. I started drawing when my daughter was 4. So I've been drawing for 3 years now, and it's been one of the best things. But if I would have had the same mentality as a normal 37-year-old, and hey, it's too late to start a new hobby or try something different, then I would not be sitting here right now, and I would not be running this podcast.
I'm 40.
Oh, same here.
It's like I could have, God, man, I really wish I did this when I was 20. Well, I don't know. In a way, I kind of wish I'm glad I didn't, because I don't know how I would have been in it in the long haul. I don't think I would recognize as much things, and so there's a reason why I'm not.
You may have given up. You may have not hustled to like you're hustling now.
It was all that. So it's like
time.
Yeah,
it's all about time.
If this is my midlife crisis, so be it. I'll take it. I'll take it over the other ones. And I don't want to buy a Corvette. I don't want to go skydiving.
And that's a whole other subject you and I will get into.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't want to do that. Yeah. I don't need the symbol. This is my midlife crisis. I embrace it, and I hope to do it for the rest of my life.
Awesome.
It doesn't matter to me.
Sweet. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning into another episode of Hold That Thought. If you like what you hear, do us a favor, head over to the iTunes store and subscribe to the podcast. If you have any thoughts, questions, or concerns about any of the content that we displayed in this podcast, send us an email at cjsevents1@gmail.com. And you can stay updated and follow the podcast on Twitter at HoldThat77. Thanks again for tuning in.